It's rare to see a car going from selling out to pulled from showrooms this fast. But that's exactly where Suzuki is after a crash test dummy headbutted the seat in front with so much force it split the atom. Toyota, meanwhile, just got crowned the only car brand that Australians truly trust. The government has officially launched an investigation into petrol price gouging. So we've ranked the cheapest EVs you can buy in the country today for those who want to jump ship. And the number one spot might surprise you. Spoiler alert, it ain't Tesla, but the American brand did launch what could be its best vehicle in yonks. And after 40 years on Australian roads, Nissan has just killed a legend. There's a lot to unpack, so buckle up. Probably one of the worst things that can happen to your car happened to Suzuki during crash testing. Back in September 2025, Suzuki launched the Fronx. It's a compact SUV. I tested it. I didn't hate it. This is a very likeable vehicle. It's a cute little compact crossover, sits below the Vitara, maybe a little bit pricey for what it is. Anyway, sales were really starting to ramp up. Suzuki Australia's own GM Michael Pecota described customer demand as on fire. He said, and I quote, "It exceeded our expectations. Stock started looking a bit troublesome. We were like, okay, we need to get more cars." However, sales went to zero when safety authority ANCAP discovered a critical flaw. During crash testing, the boffins witnessed a seatbelt failure. Clearly, the safety systems were not up to scratch. Now, seatbelts are fairly fundamental to the whole surviving a crash concept. So Suzuki did the right thing. It issued a recall, pulled cars from sale, and started an investigation. That investigation, however, is still ongoing. Months later, the car is still unavailable. And here's the thing, this is not Suzuki's first rodeo with the safety authority ANCAP. The Swift, Australia's unofficial L-plate driver's car and its second bestseller behind the dominant Jimny, initially copped a 1-star safety rating. That's out of 5 stars, not a good look. That rating was later jacked up to 3 stars after some revisions to the vehicle, which is better but not exactly a marketing department's dream scenario. Asked if he feels like Suzuki has been under the safety microscope more than other brands in Australia at the moment, Suzuki Australia's GM said, and I quote, "We seem to always make the cut," he said, of being crashed by ANCAP. Unfairly targeted or ANCAP doing its due diligence? Let us know in the comments below. So Suzuki's in a tough place right now. Sales are down by more than 30% thus far in 2026. Sure, it's only March, but you can bet your bottom dollar the bean counters are stressing hard. So what's the plan? Well, Suzuki is leaning on electrification. The fully electric EV Vitara is due here mid-year, and we've tested it, and we gave it a pretty good review. And it's nabbed a more respectable 4-star safety rating from ANCAP's European cousin, Euro ANCAP. However, the immediate problem is to fix the Fronx, get it back on sale, and stop handing ANCAP reasons to put its vehicles in the news. It's the ultimate reminder that in Australia, trust is the only currency that matters. Well, that and a low price. And while Suzuki is under the microscope, there is one brand that still claims to be the safest bet in the country, despite its own share of recalls and litigation. Yep, Toyota is still Australia's most trusted car brand. I know, try to contain your excitement. Roy Morgan, the peeps that conduct these surveys, regularly undertake these trust and distrust dealios. They survey between 1,500 and 2,000 people per month, and they do it every month. So that translates to about 18,000 to 24,000 respondents for this annual survey that they've squished together from all the data. Bunnings is still the undisputed leader of trust in Australia. But dig into the top 10, things get a little more interesting. Toyota is currently the only car maker that Australians trust on a national level. The Japanese brand is the outlier here. It's basically the only brand on 4 wheels that isn't currently facing a distrust crisis. Last week we talked about China beating Japan in the overall sales race. But unsurprisingly, not one new Chinese brand was in this list, not even BYD. And in the most distrusted category, Woolworths took the top spot. Coles and Optus also largely distrusted. There was one car brand in the top 10 distrust column, and that was Tesla. It nabbed 6th spot. Roy Morgan's data paints a pretty clear pattern. Trust revolves around car brands with long histories in Australia. Look at this 4-year-old Toyota Camry on car sales. He's asking $50,000 with 35K on the clock.
Tell him he's dreaming.
With prices going up and new car brands popping up weekly, car buying has become a high-stakes gamble. Toyota's secret sauce? They've been the car that your dad, your uncle, your auntie, and also your driving instructor has been driving since 1958. Toyota didn't do anything fancy to earn this trust. They just didn't disappear when things got complicated. Consistency over hype works. Well, class actions and dead Prados notwithstanding. But even the most loyal Toyota fan has a breaking point, and that breaking point might just be at the fuel pump. I'm going to put my cards on the table. It's prediction time. I think diesel is going to surpass $3 a litre in Australia in days, not weeks. Between US strikes near oil refineries in Iran and the global shipping chaos, the cheap fuel era is officially dead in 2026. So the Australian government says it is investigating price gouging, and hopefully it turns something up and the prices come down a little bit. That would be nice for everyone. We all see it happening at the Bowser. Have you guys noticed a massive jump in your suburb almost every night? I have. Drop your current local price in the comments below and keep them coming. I want to see where this is hitting hardest. We just ran a story on which suburbs across Australia are buying the most EVs via a novated lease. And if you didn't know, buying an EV with a novated lease will save you lots of cash until mid-2027. Government rebates, that sort of thing. It turns out the smart money has moved to the urban fringes where rooftop solar is plentiful and fuel prices are a joke. But you don't need a massive salary to join them. We've crunched the numbers on the current market, and some of these prices for brand new EVs will surprise you. Spoiler alert, the BYD Atto 1 officially snagged the #1 spot and is Australia's cheapest EV at $24,000. That's pretty cheap. An honourable mention goes to the Leap Motor B10, which costs just under 40 grand, drive away, and snagged 8th spot in our list. I've just reviewed it, and stay tuned for that video to drop in the coming weeks. But long story short, this rear-wheel drive tiddler is actually quite engaging behind the wheel, which is a bit of a rarity for a Chinese vehicle these days. Anyway, if you want to check out that cheapest top 10 EV list, it's in the description. So Elon's big T may be on the most distrusted list for Aussies, and not on the most affordable list either. But this latest product they've launched just now in Australia is one of the best vehicles the brand has ever built. Tony recently released a video for us on the 2026 Tesla Model Y L, where L stands for long. It's like the stretch limo version of the Tesla Model Y. He was among the first to drive it on Aussie roads, along with one of the most competitive tennis players I've ever encountered, Paul Marrick. And they both reckon it's worth that extra $6,000 over the regular Model Y. Why? No pun intended. Well, for starters, it's got 6 seats. Sure, you don't get 7 seats, but you can put Nan and Pop in the middle row, and then you can put the kids in the back row. And even if you've got child seats, it's got anchorages for those in all 4 seats. So yeah, you can pick and choose. The new Elon gated Tesla also got a pretty good review, 82 out of 100. Okay, I've got some late breaking news here. The Nissan Pathfinder is being axed in Australia. Sad but true. I've got a soft spot for the big unit, which has been on sale in Australia for around 4 decades. Back in 1986 is when it first arrived here, to be exact. It's a great family chariot, but along with the Nissan Duke, which is no great loss, the Pathfinder is being put out to pasture because sales are down. The fact the Pathfinder isn't available with the brand's plugless hybrid technology dubbed e-Power was the nail in the coffin. And sales had also slowed down quite a lot. Callum Hunter, the news editor here at Car Sales Editorial, interviewed Nissan's managing director Andrew Humberstone this week, confirming its demise in Australia. It'll still be sold in the USA where it is built, but pathfinding will be left to the Nissan Patrol in Australia. And on that note, the all-new Y63, that's the new generation Petrol, is still looking like a late 2026 arrival. We were hoping it would come maybe mid-year, but demand is pretty hot around the world, so it might take a bit longer. Oh, and the new Petrol doesn't come with a V8 anymore. No! So yeah, it's getting a twin turbo V6 instead. Still petrol, which is good, and it should tow well, and it's got more power and stuff, but you can't beat that V8 burble, can you? One last item before I bid you adieu. We're doing something big and exciting. I'm launching a new podcast on YouTube called Idle Talk. I'll be cruising around with some of the most interesting people in Australia and abroad. Hope you can come along for the ride. The first episode kicks off this weekend, and let me know if you want to see someone particular in one of these interviews. Leave it in the comments, and see you next time.